Hi everyone, it's Mary with Happy Pine Soap. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to do a brand new design with a gorgeous pastel palette. We're going to do some layers, and I'm also going to test our goat's milk soap from last week with today's recipe. So today's recipe is going to be the exact same recipe, but I'm just leaving out the goat's milk because I actually want to see the difference between the two. So I will be testing that lather and reporting back at the end of the video. So stay tuned for that. I have all of our oils already melted and ready to go. And I also am using some kaolin clay, about 3 tablespoons with our fragrance, which is watermelon sugar here from Brambleberry. And our beautiful colors here are all from Mad Micas. We got Strawberry Moonshine, we got Banana Split, we got the Maniacal Pea, Sea Glass, and I Dream of Purple. And I've already pre-mixed these with some sweet almond oil. Each one got 1/2 teaspoon of mica to 1/2 tablespoon of our sweet almond, and they're all ready to go. And I'm hoping they will remain pastel in the finished soap, so we will see. And we are doing our gorgeous chock full of butters recipe from last week. I am absolutely in love with this recipe already. I have been using the goat's milk soap and it is phenomenal. Probably the best soap I've made actually. So I will share this recipe with you, and I'll also include a still shot of it at the end of the video for you guys to copy if you'd like to. Here is our recipe. It's the exact same as last week, except for it's 5 pounds instead of 3. I also upped our water discount, so the lye concentration is 50%. That's the highest amount you can go. That's the 1-to-1 water to lye ratio because I'm setting up layers and I want them to harden very rapidly. And as you see, everything is in grams and ounces. And we have all our gorgeous butters, which by the way, make for a phenomenally luxurious bar that feels fabulous, fabulous, fabulous. Probably my favorite bar so far. And as I said, I will go ahead and make a screenshot of this and put it at the end. And last week's goat's milk recipe, by the way, I will link below in the description. So check for that too, if you'd like to check that one out. Because I'm doing this design in layers, I'm going to actually pour my fragrance in beforehand and blend it really well, because I'm going to actually have 5 separate lye amounts that I weigh out and measure. And so I won't have to worry about acceleration because they're going in separate batches. So this makes it super easy to combine everything and not have to stress and worry about soap becoming rapidly hard and causing problems. So let's get our kaolin clay and our fragrance in here, and I'll blend it really well. Burp your stick blender. The next step included adding the combined oils with the fragrance that we poured in, that total weight in the bowl minus the bowl weight, and then I divided it by 5. So that number ended up being 13.46 ounces of the oil plus the fragrance in each pour container. And then as you see, I've gone ahead and poured our micas, and they were super easy to just stir together by hand. Look at these gorgeous pastels. I'm hoping these colors stay true. Ah, they're so beautiful. So we're ready now to separate the lye into 5 separate amounts as well. So the exact amount when the entire lye solution is divided by 5 is 3.69 ounces. So I'm going to go ahead and weigh that out, and this will be our first batch. Pink layer basically. So let's get 3.69 ounces of lye. The temperature as we're beginning for our lye solution is about 90 degrees. And that's Fahrenheit. And our oils are about exactly the same actually. Here we go, first layer. Burp your stick blender. Very nice. Now this, I don't mind if it thickens a little bit. I actually want it to, so that each layer is completely hard before I pour the next layer. There, that's good. Let's take this off. And let's get as much soap off of this as we can before we pour the next layer. All right, that's pretty good. See, ooh, super thick. See how fast this goes? Butters go fast, and then I left it a little warmer on purpose, so this one's going faster than last week's. And we're just using some soap here to prop our mold up. Go ahead and get it in. Ooh, it's heating up too, guys. Woo! This is a hot recipe. This is why we are doing it in separate colors, because holy cow, this would be soap on a stick by the time you got to the other colors if you had mixed them all beforehand. Let me get out all of this pink here. Come on, pink, behave yourself. All right, here we go. I don't like to waste any soap, so scrapey, scrapey. Especially with these expensive butters. All right, let's see if we can kind of shake this down a little bit. You know what? I think we're actually going to have to smooth it, which is fine. That's perfectly fine. We will just go right ahead. Let's see. Yeah. Make this kind of a textured layers a little bit too. That might be a little bit fun. See what that looks like. All right. Let's see. I'll do some texturing here so that we don't have perfectly straight lines, because I don't think I'm going to be able to do perfectly straight lines because it gets so thick so quickly. So we're going to just do something fun and texture each layer. Let's see here. Let's just give it a go. This will make for an interesting design in between each layer too. It's kind of fun. You can do whatever you want with soaps. This is when soaping becomes art. We're just going to have fun and experiment. All right. Let's get to the next layer. Our next color is going to be this gorgeous yellow. So in goes the next 3.69 ounces of lye. The exact same amount as the first batch. And what you'll notice with each subsequent color, I'll probably show you later on, is that each batch is cooling in temp. So not only is the lye cooling in temp, but the oils are cooling in temp too. So as they cool, they take a little bit longer to set up. So the first color is always the quickest. And then by the time you get to the last color, you might have to microwave just slightly to bring the temp up if need be. All right, good enough. Let's take this off and get it cleaned for the next color. Let's see. Just set that aside and let's pour our next layer. This is so much fun. I left this one a little runnier because I want it to really sink down in those gaps and form some very cool textures here. Yeah, see, we got a little air bubble there, so I'll knock this down as well to prevent any air bubbles. This is so much fun, guys. I'm so glad you guys are with me today. All right, let's knock it down real quick. See that big air bubble just popped? And yes, I am using a used bar of soap. It's exactly 1 inch. Ooh, another bubble. Yep, some over here too. There, that should really settle in there. And then I'll scrape the rest of this out and we'll go to the next color. Let's texture our yellow. Let's see, what do I want to do this time? Maybe I'll do a different, kind of a this direction, something different. Yeah. All right. Oops. There we go. Just something a little different to texture this layer. All right, let's check on our oil temp. It's down to 87. All right, so not too bad. I think I would reheat it if it got down to, say, 80 degrees. I might reheat it a little. And the lye, about 90. Okay, so the lye is falling a little bit slower than the oils, but we're still good. Here we go for the next layer. And again, I have it propped this way with the soap underneath so that it tips mostly towards this side this time. Let's put our lye in. Again, 3.69 ounces. Tap, 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 tap. Get it all out. At least as best as we can. And let me just get some of that off the side. I don't want it to be stuck up there. All right. Perfect. Let's disengage this. Whoops, it's getting slippery. There we go. All right, let's quickly get our green in. I'll scrape this out as well and be back to texture it. And this time I think I'm gonna try a different texture. I'm gonna use a fork. Let's just do some fun things. Let's do something different and see what this looks like. Yeah. I'll even do it this way a little bit too. There. That's fun. Let's scrape that off. All right, good enough. Next layer. This gorgeous blue, one of my favorite pastel blues. And by the way, if you were wondering why the lye is orange, that is because I used coconut water. My spoon plop design, which is linked below, is the one that teaches you how to use coconut water, which adds wonderful, wonderful properties to your soap. I love it personally. All right, I think this one is good to go as well. Let's disengage this again. I have gone ahead and turned the mold around, so now that it's propped up going the opposite direction, And we're going to pour the blue carefully into these lines to make sure it really settles down in here. I don't want any air gaps. So I got to pour before it gets hard. And then I'll tap it again to make sure there's no air pockets. All right, that's pretty good. All right, let me tap this real quick. You can see the air coming up. All right, and I'll kind of gently tap it just a little towards the one side. Or actually, I might just leave it flat. I think the next layer will just be our top layer. Make sure all those bubbles are out. All right, we're gonna texture this one too, and I think I'll go back to kind of the simple spoon, or the spatula here, actually. Let's do that. And then we'll do the top, and we'll texture the top as well. All right, good enough. And our last layer, let's check the temps. The oils are 83, so we're still good. And the lye is now 86. Yeah, so easy peasy. I actually am quite happy with how the temperature's held as well. Let's get the last one in. Whoops, there we go. Perfect. Take this off and we'll get ready for pouring. All right, here goes the last layer, and we'll make sure we get all the lumpy bumpies filled with fluid here. Make sure on the other side as well. Whoops, almost poured over the end on the other side here. All right. Whoops, it's gonna pour over, but that's okay. We're gonna mound it up in the middle. So, and because it's nice and pudding, it won't make too much of a mess. All right, I'll scrape that out in a minute. All right, let's shake this down gently. And we'll clean all this up, so don't worry about that. All right, cleaning commencing. We're gonna have to wait for this to firm up just a smidge more, which will happen quickly before we start mounding. All right, while we're waiting for that to get a little harder, we'll scrape the rest of this out. I love this pastel purple. So pretty. It's very much like a lilac. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to oven process the soap because I don't want any partial gels. You saw the partial gel in the strawberry puree soap, and I want to avoid that. So we are going to oven process this. That's basically turning your oven on to the lowest setting. For me, that's 170 degrees. And then you turn the oven off, you pop your soap in, and you turn your oven light on, just the oven light, not the oven. And then I let it sit there usually for about 3 to 4 hours. Take it out and it'll be ready to cut shortly thereafter, especially with all these butters. The soap will be very, very hard within 5 hours, which I love because I am an impatient soaper, as I've said. All right. Ooh, actually there's plenty on this as well. There we go. And now I'm pretty sure it will texture pretty well. Yes, yes it will. Let me clean this up actually. There we go. All right, we'll go the opposite direction. And let's clean it. Oh, clean it by making more mess. That's okay, that's okay. Get over there, you naughty soap. There we go. I think we'll just do something simple in the middle. It's kind of gentle waves on top, I think I'm gonna go for. Yeah, that's kind of cool. Whoops, almost waved that right off the mold. There we go. Get over here. All right. Let's see. This is always the toughest part, is when do you stop texturing? All right, we'll go the opposite direction. Reminds me kind of painting with a palette knife. Yeah, I think we're gonna do this. Then I'm gonna clean it up a little bit more around the edges. Here we go. Sorry about that, Murphy's making a lot of noise in the background. There we go. All right, I think I'm pretty happy with that. I'll clean it up just a smidge more and then we'll pop this right in the oven. Cute. All right, it's been about 5 hours, just like I said. We've gotten it out of the oven, and as you see, it is rock hard, just like I thought it would be. I'm going to get it cut here, and I do have one wire broken, so I'm going to have to do this in pieces. All right, let's get the first one cut, and hopefully I don't break another wire. This recipe is definitely hard and can break wires. All right, let's take a look here. Oh, we did get some air pockets despite my best attempts here, but not too bad, not too bad. I definitely love the pastels. We were successful in having it stay nice and bright and light. All right, here's the end of the loaf, and then we'll go to the other side. Here's the other side. Let's see how these look. Very cute. I will go ahead and bevel these, and I will show you tomorrow the lather test to see how this compares to our goat's milk soap that I mentioned at the beginning. Exact same recipe, just one made with coconut water and the other made with goat's milk. And as you can see, oven processing makes a huge difference. The soaps are not soft whatsoever. All that water has been evaporated out, and saponification has been speeded up tremendously. There you go. All right, we're here with the next morning. We're gonna test our goat's milk soap. The goat's milk soap, by the way, is probably one of the most amazing recipes I've made as of yet. It has phenomenal, probably the best lather, believe it or not, even more than the fruit one, which kind of surprised me. It is just this very luxurious feeling lather too. Not only does it have fabulous silkiness and slip to the actual bar of soap, but this lather is just so gentle and mild feeling and very copious, Very copious, luxurious lather. So just a fabulous bar. Very happy with this one. Let's go ahead and test our pastel one. Since it's pretty much the same recipe minus the goat's milk, I'm very curious to see what the difference will be. All right, same exact recipe, just no goat's milk. Instead, we use coconut water. Let's test this puppy out. Ooh. Oh boy, it has a very similar feel. No doubt the butters are contributing to that amazing feel, which is why I love butters. You know what? This is just as, oh my gosh, this is just as good actually, if not better lather. Holy cow, actually, who knew? The coconut water is the winner, I think, in terms of lather. Holy cow. So what I would say, the main difference that I can tell, wow, that's a lot of lather. So the coconut water for the win, if you want lather, for sure. If you want this, it's almost hard to explain, this kind of silkiness, and they both are silky, by the way, so it's not, this one has more of a creamy, gentle feel, like silky, just a bit more than this one. So this one, you could tell the milk is giving it a different property, but it's kind of hard to describe. They're both amazing on their own, but this one probably has a more, probably milder, more luxurious, silky feel on the skin. But by no means does this not have that, just a bit to the lesser degree. So either way, amazing recipe. I hope you guys enjoyed this recipe. And if you try it out, would love to hear what your experiences were in the comments below. And as promised, here's today's recipe. I really hope you enjoyed my tutorial. Please drop me any comments below if you have any other questions or any comments. And I look forward to seeing you guys all in the next soapy tutorial. Have a fabulous weekend, everybody. Take care.